I think it is a big deal. When you have record attendance, record revenue, record number of sellouts at very high prices, and you still don't have enough money to meet your payroll in September, that's of real concern. And this is the story that was dug up by the Athletic. I was told from a different source, Padre ownership tried to make a cash call amongst their investors at the end of August, and the investors said no. We've poured enough money into this. In essence, it's almost a vote of no confidence to AJ Preller. He was given a blank check and he overspent it. And I was told the Padre investors said, no, we're not going to do another cash call, which then led the Padres to go to Major League Baseball, use a line of credit to get a $50 million loan. Now, I was told the Padres initially asked for $100 million, and the commissioner's office said, no, we will help you with the $50 million loan. So this is a big issue. The team has reasonable debt. I'm not going to say baseball did an intervention on behalf of MLB. I don't know how deep the Padre financial crisis is, but it has to be some form of cash flow that they tapped out, that they spent it all, and here they are in September, not able to make payroll and not able to pay their bills and have to go get the loan. They didn't do anything illegal. This has happened other times, other places. But you look back, the Padres' luxury tax bill is going to be at $296 million. That's $253 for the payroll, and then there's benefits and everything that are stacked on top of that. Mm-hmm. So their total bill will be $296 million, which is over the threshold again.
Yeah.
So they're looking at probably a $30 to $40 million tax bill they have to pay because they were at $296 million, which is a phenomenal amount of money for this marketplace. So that's a big issue. The Padres' response is, we are not in crisis. We are responsible. Peter Seidler is still helping make day-to-day decisions. Although Seidler's not at Petco Park, Seidler did not attend the Major League Baseball meetings because of this health issue. If you go back and look, them losing the $60 million TV deal with Bally Sports back in the spring, baseball dove in. Baseball gave them about $50 million total of the $60 million TV rights to ride them through the year. But that's a negative. They don't know what next year's TV package will look like under the MLB banner. Mm-hmm. MLB came in, started the streaming service. I thought the product on TV was exceptional, but we just don't know what kind of dollars it's going to trigger next year. And the Padres were counting on the $60 million per year as part of their payroll going forward with all the multi-year contracts that they signed that are back-end loaded. So there's an issue there. And it is kind of stunning that you drew 3.23 million all-time record. You had 61 sellouts, all-time record. You sold more than 3.3 million tickets, all-time record. And you're in this type of financial situation. All this now spins back to the two words that you and I talked about in March and April. The words are sustainability, or the word is recklessness. All right, so I set the background of where they are, what they had to do, what may have caused this, and now we have a reduction of at least $50 million in payroll coming for next year's team, which means lesser players on the roster. Prices have gone up for a third straight year. You can only squeeze John Q fans so much. So I'm not going to say they're in big trouble, but I just don't like the optics of what I see right now about how they've handled their finances and the fact that the ownership committee refused the request for another cash call. Therefore, they had to go to the banks to take out a $50 million loan. And John Riley says,
and I say that so far, I'm not that worried because businesses do this all the time, where they have a line of credit and cash flow can vary a little bit. And yeah, I mean, that to me, that's a normal thing that large businesses will do. But the Padres, at the same time, they're spending like $20 million to renovate Gallagher Square. They got a lot of other things cooking. It's not like they're short of money. So to me, I think this is a mountain out of a molehill. Now, the proof will be in the pudding. I mean, when it comes time to sign free agents, to keep or trade Soto, we're going to really find out where this payroll needs to be. And if the payroll is drastically reduced, then yeah, they've got a serious problem. But I don't know. I'm kind of waiting and seeing how this goes.
You raise a really valid point that they have always, under Seidler and a little bit before that, with Fowler and Seidler as a team atop, they've always invested. I remember covering a press conference down there where they were putting solar panels on the roof of Petco Park as a way to generate money or save money on electricity. The renovations they've done at Petco Park, rather than deferred, they kept doing things that needed to be done so the thing would not fall apart.
Right.
And you talk about Gallagher Square, that is an investment. You talk about the Tailgate Park parking lot and what that's going to become. That's an investment in land they own. So they have taken money and poured it in because there will be money delivered at the back end from all these projects. That being said, payroll, obviously, now I'm convinced has to come down, and that means players probably won't be re-signed, and other players, aka Soto, Scott Boras, might wind up getting traded. So, but it is bothersome because historically in Padre ownership, there've always been cash calls to owners, and owners have always come up with it. And I was told this time did not happen.
Wow. Well, I mean, we're going to find out how this whole thing evolves. But again, I understand why people are hair on fire, because this on its surface does not sound good. But again, I'm taking it in stride. I do, though, worry about Peter Seidler and his health and how is that playing a role in this? Because if Seidler is the one with the deepest pockets putting money on the table, God forbid Peter Seidler is not part of the ownership group. I mean, then what? I mean, everything could go sideways for sure.
So those are questions on our fans forum. We'll invite you now, if you're a Padre fan, a baseball fan, jump on board. Question one that you can participate in the chat room right now by firing us a question. Would there have been somebody better in the National League to play Texas than the Arizona Diamondbacks? Which team would it have been? And question two, and this is a bigger question, I'm going to push your hot button here. How concerned are you with this financial story that has just broken as it relates to the Padres, out of cash, bank loan to meet their payroll in September, and what does it mean going forward? Fans Forum, jump on board because we'll look at your questions. We'll take the best of them right at the end in Fans Forum. One other Padres